Great to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Animoca brand has been expanding into tokenized equity and real-world assets. How do you envision tokenization reshaping traditional investment frameworks, particularly in Asia?
Well, I would say, first of all, if you tokenize something, you're expanding your network. Like a stablecoin, you now have hundreds of millions and more people that have the US dollar. When you tokenize an RWA, you're expanding the network as well. It could be real estate. If you want to have a larger audience for people around the world to buy it, you tokenize it. And so most recently, Republic and Solana actually announced that they tokenized our equity. And it's really an experiment. I mean, we didn't do it. It's not a fundraising event. It's all secondary. But it's actually a very fun experiment to show, can the token economy actually also handle secondary shares for a company like ourselves and expand the market, which we believe it can. And that actually opens the floodgates for other companies that want to do the same. And then it will change the whole concept of secondary markets. I'm not saying it'll replace an IPO, but it actually will give opportunities for other people to participate basically in buying securities.
Republic plans to tokenize Animoca brand's equity on Solana. What advantages do you see for companies and investors in tokenizing equity rather than issuing traditional shares?
Well, first of all, there's always based on a traditional share, so that doesn't change. However, when it's tokenized, you basically put it on the blockchain, and anyone on the blockchain can now, if they want to, buy it, with the KYC and everything else associated with this, right? Which means you're just expanding the market reach. I'm particularly excited about what it means for startups. One of the problems that startups have is for seed investing, it takes like 5 or 10 years before you get an exit. That's a long, long time. And the reason why crypto is so exciting is because when I do a token launch, maybe I can get an exit sooner. But maybe some projects shouldn't have a token, right? Some people are just thinking about launching a token just because for fundraising, but actually that might be the wrong idea. Maybe it should just be equity. So how do I do that? Well, if I tokenize my equity, I have a way in which I can now expand the ability for monetizing it on the secondary market. And so if I'm a seed investor, I don't have to have a 10x. I can have 50%, 20%, 2x, 3x. Then I make an exit faster. Likely chances of me investing in more startups is much higher as a result because I don't have to wait 5 or 10 years for an exit. So I think that mechanism is actually going to make more liquidity, more expanded market opportunity, and actually is better for the startup ecosystem, as we've seen in crypto. So very, very excited about it.
The company is now exploring stablecoin issuance through anchor coins in Hong Kong. How critical are stablecoins to Animoca's vision of a fully tokenized digital ecosystem?
It's incredibly important because it's the bridge in how you bring the real world into the digital world. And most people aren't comfortable using digital currency in the natural sense. Doing it as a stablecoin expands the reach. But of course, there's other things to be excited about, which is a stablecoin opens up markets in places like Africa, Southeast Asia, other places that would normally not have reach. And finally, when you're building on a stablecoin, it's actually payments infrastructure that is open and composable, allowing other people to build new, cool applications they would have never imagined, which is what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, and the last question. Looking at Animoca's role across NFTs, tokenized equity, RWAs, and gaming, what do you think will be the most transformative blockchain trend in the next 3 years? And how is Animoca positioning itself to lead it?
I would say it's not so much a technical trend, although it's part of that. It's the increase in financial literacy. Basically, all these things we're doing for mass adoption is going to increase financial literacy. And of course, that means more people know about money, which means, of course, they're going to know more about not just crypto, but stocks and investing, which also means, as a result, we're going to have a much more liquid, larger ecosystem as a result. So I think really the superpower of what crypto does is it actually makes people more capitalist and more financially literate, just the same way that the internet made people more digitally literate and basically had more access to information.